I'm going to tell you my best kept secret, which is my brownie recipe. The secret is that I mix the batter over the stovetop. That way the chocolate chips melt into the batter and you get melty chocolatey goodness through every bite. It's a real crowd pleaser. Now that I've told you my secret, I want to know your secret. Are you secretly a people pleaser? Don't worry, I've been there before. I'm actually a recovering people pleaser. So I'm also going to teach you 5 ways to melt away your insecurities. That way we could leave the people pleasing to these brownies. The first thing we're going to do is melt together some butter and sugar and start to melt away our insecurities. We'll start with 2 sticks of butter on medium heat. The first thing to remember is to not take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. This is from one of my favorite books, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Basically what he's saying is the things that people do and say are simply a reflection of their reality and their values. And if you could become immune to their opinions and actions, then you don't have to be a victim of needless suffering. Now we're going to add 2 cups of sugar. This reminds me of a psychological term called the spotlight effect. It's where we think that people are noticing us a lot more than they actually are. The truth is, most people are more concerned with themselves and they're not paying attention to you. So don't trip, chocolate chip. Next, we're going to add 1/2 cup of cocoa powder and talk about my next tip, which is to observe how you perceive other people. Man, I promise, I'm so self-conscious. Are you? And sometimes it's even just about little things, like a wrinkle in my shirt or saying a few times during a presentation. So what I do is when I know I'm insecure about something, I watch out for this trait in other people and see how I'm reacting to that. And more often than not, I barely even notice, I forget in like 2 seconds, and I don't even care. So in reality, people usually don't care about the things that you're insecure about. Again, that spotlight effect. So I just took the brownies off of the heat and now we're going to temper the eggs, and I have 4 beaten eggs in here. If we put these eggs directly into the batter, then they're going to scramble and you're going to have scrambled egg brownies. Yuck. Just like with our insecurities, if we present ourselves to the world with negative thoughts, then it's not going to end pretty either. So we need to slowly add some of the batter to the eggs to raise the temperature of it. Just like we need to temper and transform our thoughts. So the song you hear in the background is from Steven Universe and it's called Here Comes a Thought. And the song basically talks about how our thoughts are just thoughts and it's up to us to decide what we're gonna do with them. We've tempered our eggs, now it's time to temper our thoughts. One way to do this is through something called an evidence record. So think of one insecurity or negative thought you have about yourself. And what you'll do is you'll think about evidence that makes that thought true. And then you'll think about evidence that makes that thought untrue. And more often than not, there's a lot less truth in our negative thoughts than we think. So what we're trying to do is replace those negative thoughts with positive thoughts so we could change the way that we feel. Next, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla in order to bring out the flavors. Now we're going to add our dry ingredients, which is 2 cups of flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. My next tip might seem a little dry and kind of hokey, but I promise you that it works, and this is reciting positive affirmations. This works because we're retraining our brain. So if you're getting ready for a presentation, you could say things to yourself like, I am eloquent, I am an amazing, engaging speaker. If you get nervous, you can say, I am calm and collected. You could even do this in front of the mirror and say things like, I see pride, I see power, I see a bad mother who don't take crap off of nobody. My final tip is to stay ready. This is going to help you melt away those insecurities for good, just like we're going to melt these chocolate chips into the batter. Since you know you have these insecurities, take action to prepare for it. If you get insecure in social situations, you can come up with a list of topics to talk about beforehand. If you're getting ready for a big presentation, make sure you study up and know your stuff, and get constructive feedback on a previous presentation. The more prepared you feel, the more confident you'll be. To finish up our brownie batter, we're going to add 1/2 cup of chopped nuts. Now add your batter to a greased 9x13 pan. These smell so good already. We're going to bake them for 28 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Our stovetop brownies are done, and as you saw, they have chocolate chips melted all the way through. I can't wait to try this. That's so good. They're still warm. So I hope that you try this recipe, and I also hope that you try out my 5 tips on how to melt away your insecurities so you can leave the people-pleasing to these brownies. The full recipe is on my website at diningattiffany's.com. I am your cooking counselor, and always remember that I'm here for you and you got this. I'll see you next time.